Well, there's nothing better than cooking some fresh fish, especially if you got into a bit of a habit like me of packing the gas cooker and doing it in a nice little secluded bay when the fishing slows down. Now, for some people, cooking fish can be very daunting, but it doesn't have to be. I've got a really, really simple way to make sure you get the most out of that fish. Now, by no means am I a qualified chef or a chef in any sense of the imagination, but I have been cooking fish for a fair few years now, and here's a really simple, quick recipe that you can do at home or on the bank whenever you catch a nice feed of fish. Well, when it comes to cooking fish, you want to adopt the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Today what we're doing, we're going to put some fresh tailor fillets onto wraps with some salad and some mayo. It's lunchtime, the boys are hungry, and this takes no more than 2 minutes if you're well and prepared. So what I've got some vegetable oil in a pan heating up. And you want to use vegetable oil because if you use olive oil, then that's going to burn and it doesn't heat as well as vegetable oil does. So I've got that on, heating up, and once that's ready to go, we can move to start to prepare the fillets of fish. So what I've got 4 fillets of fresh tailor, right? So I've taken the pin bones out of 2 of them, but if you don't know how to do this, it's a really important thing you've got to know, and that's just a matter of cutting the V out of the fillet of tailor. Now that means that the fillet is going to be boneless, and when you're putting them on things like wraps, then it's really important so you can just dig in and not have to worry about bones. Chuck that away. I'm going to take the pin bones out for all of them. I think the birds like it as much as I do. And then I'm going to put it in some flour with a little bit of salt and get them in the oil. Righto, so what I've got here, I've got a little container with some plain flour in it. So what I'm going to do is get some salt and chuck it in there with the flour. A generous amount. There's no health ratings on this recipe. Then what we want to do is chuck the fillet, which is boneless and ready to go. It's scaled in there. Shut the lid and then give it a few good shakes. That should be completely coated in flour, ready to hit the oil once it heats up. It's just a matter of waiting for that oil to heat up. You want it really, really hot, so when you lay that fish in, it's sizzling and ready to go and you get that really nice crispy skin. But in the meantime, it takes a few minutes, so let's get the wrap ready, because what I like about this recipe is it can take only 2 or 3 minutes if you're prepared. So what we'll do, we've got a wrap here ready to go. Get some avocado on there. You can really choose whatever you want to put on it. We're in the camp kitchen today, or the boat kitchen if you want to call it that. It doesn't have to look good and it doesn't have to be neat. It's just about getting it on the wrap. So I've got some avocado. We'll get some mayonnaise. Spread that throughout the wrap. There we go. We'll get some lemon. I like putting a little bit of lemon on there too. There's a bit of extra sauce. And then you've got some butter there if you want it. I'm not a huge fan. And then we'll just lay some of the lettuce along the wrap. So all we have to do is lay that fillet, wrap it up, and then we can smash it. I think the boys in front of me are getting hungry. So that's ready to go. I'm going to get 3 more ready. Get the fish in here. Only takes 2 or 3 minutes once the fish hits the oil. Then we're on the wrap, ready to go. Righto, so that oil is nearly there. So what I'm going to do is lay that fish in there. So a good way to test it is when you shake the flour off the fish, you want that bubbling sensation to happen on the oil. That's how you know it's hot enough. You don't want to put fish in cold oil. So it's just a matter of laying that fish in away from you, and it's starting to bubble there now. That's how I know it's hot enough. So that's only going to take 2 or 3 minutes each side, and then we'll take it out and chuck it on the wrap. So the biggest misconception with fish is how long you've got to cook it for. A lot of people overcook it way too much because they think they're going to get sick or some ridiculous thing like that. You can eat fish raw. So what that means is when you're cooking it, you want to pull it out just before it's finished, just before it's cooked in the center, because it's going to continue cooking once you've pulled it out. So this guy's ready to go, and a good indication that it's ready to go is when you open it up, there is no clear parts, it's only white. So what I'm going to do, bring this bloke out, let him drip off a little bit, then we're going to go straight from there onto the wrap. And we'll just move that around, mush it up a little bit, and what we have there is a fresh fish wrap. So give it a bit of a roll at the ends, nice and rustic, how it should be whenever you're out on the water. It takes 2 minutes if you're well prepared, and that fish was caught no longer than a few hours ago. I'm going to get tucked into this. The boys are pretty hungry, and then we're going to hit the water for an afternoon session.